Welcome to the Nexus Unloaded podcast. This is Will Crozier.
And I'm Zach Congonis. We are here to bring you the best solutions to your lifting problems. Through our real-world experience, we hope to break things down in a digestible, applicable, and entertaining way.
Today we have quite a few things to go through, positive and negative, talking about weddings, travel issues, training and nutrition around them, meme updates, level 1 nutrition updates, and t-shirt updates. Then we go into our question problem of the day, which was, my friend is disappointed with their results compared to other people on social media. How do I help them view it in a better way? So we talk about our setting realistic expectations, the pros and cons of social media, how we can handle all these things that can skew our view on progression when we look at other people, and what we should do about it ourselves. Let's go.
This one's going to be great. Alrighty, so I've got to say it quickly, because if I go too slow, Mickey, you'll have enough time. So for both of you, you have 10 seconds. I'm going to start a timer.
Oh.
No. It's part of it. So you got 10 seconds. If either of you can answer this question in the next 10 seconds, you don't have to pay me this week. What animal has square shits and why? 10 seconds. What animal has square shits and why?
A llama.
Mickey's frantically Googling.
No, I'm out.
No.
I'm just going to say a llama.
But I'm not paying you this week anyway.
So the only animal in the animal kingdom to have square shits is a wombat. And the reason why is wombats shit on rocks to mark their territory, and circle shits roll off rocks. But they don't have a square butthole. Their intestines squish it into a little cube, so it stays on this.
Well,
and then they shit
I feel like as Aussies,
hey.
and obviously wombats, Aussies, it's something that probably should be taught in school a lot more. I feel like that's a fact that I should have learned in school, you know? What do we learn? Fucking, addition, subtraction. That's fucking bullshit. We should be learning that, you know?
And a echidna has a 4-pronged penis.
Oh, wonderful. Another fact that should be absolutely in the just square center in the syllabus of all schools. I love that.
So those two animals are national treasures.
Exactly.
Why are we not?
Do you have a kangaroo fact?
Nah, sadly not.
Oh.
They stand up by their tail. Their tail is the reason why it's so big and girthy is because it helps them stand up. They have a tripod
If anybody has any cool kangaroo facts that are as good as the first two, send them in.
I'm curious if there's a stumpy-tailed kangaroo out there. Can it actually stand up? I honestly think that if someone cut off a kangaroo's tail, it would fall over. It wouldn't be able to stand up.
Center of mass is off.
Yep.
Can't squat. Falls over.
It's like a super heavyweight without a barbell in the back.
Yeah, they get a quarter into the squat and just fall on their face. Powerlifters, athletes can't do a bodyweight squat. Love that shit. Went to a very extraordinary Yeti wedding on the weekend. Been to a couple of weddings lately. Been to a couple of really good weddings, but a Yeti wedding is a rare sight. A Yeti in general is a rare sight, but a Yeti wedding is next level of rareness. It was awesome. Really good wedding. Loved it. Glad we could be there, but Jetstar really made it an absolute nightmare. I shouldn't have said...
Oh, no.
I didn't mean to call out Jetstar. I meant to say airlines, and then, if they pissed me off more, I was going to throw them in, because last thing they want is to be thrown in the mud by a podcast like this. But, yeah.
Their stock prices are plummeting.
Absolutely, just rock bottom right now, if they could get any lower. But, I swear 50% of their flights are cancelled right now. It's literally you book a flight and then there's a really good chance that it's just going to be cancelled and you're going to have to fly out the next day or 2 days later or not at all, or you're going to have to pay $800 for a Qantas flight instead.
Which I refuse to do.
It's ridiculous. I don't know if obviously they've got their reasons, but I just wanted to bring forward my objection against it. Okay,
there's actually two reasons. I don't
better
know
not be
why.
rational, because I don't want any rational reasons.
Yeah, so there's actually a shortage in sliced ham, so they can't make the ham and cheese toasties, so the aircraft just can't take off.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
That's why. But actually, so one, staffing shortages, and two, apparently on their Dreamliner, they can't source a certain part. So all these planes that need a replacement part, they can't source. So those planes are grounded.
I've never.
It's like the.
Is that the jet?
It's a type of plane. Yeah, it's a plane.
It's
like
fucking not a dream. It's terrible. They should change the name of that.
The
to
nightmare.
Shithouse flight liner. Terrible. Hate it. Let's move on before Jess sues us or something. The couple of, I just wanted to give a shout out to Callum or at why not me _lifting on Instagram for his memes lately.
What a king!
Because
what an absolute
he just
king.
deserves a shout out for his recent meme lordness. He
Image.
He's done a few of us now, but the recent ones, the Super Nexus Bros, I thought was well done. He just listens to this podcast purely for me memo. He doesn't I doubt he learns anything. It's just pure me memo.
When I jumped on Mickey's head when she was talking, I fucking lost it. That was it. I was gone. I was on the floor. It was game over.
Yeah, and it's the best part. I watched it and I thought that was funny.
Zach will be alpha. I can tell you now.
I thought it was funny when I watched it, and then I realized there was sound, and then when I listened to it with sound, it was just like, this is fucking great. Oh, absolutely.
I lost it. I lost it at Jack's one though.
Jack's one was the muscle duck. Jack one. At first I was a little bit like poor Jack, but then the first half I felt like poor
dance,
Jack.
Baby, I literally have that song stuck in my head.
First half I was just like, I hope this is going somewhere, because otherwise it's just purely just memeing Jack's injury, which isn't cool really. But then when they started dancing, I was just like, great. And then you coming in at the end, it was capped it off. So yeah, shout out to Callum and to his memes. If you're not following his page, why not me _lifting? Go follow it, because
do yourself a favor.
He's absolutely
killing it.
An absolute meme
He's
lord.
also
Love
made
it.
all of our GIFs and stuff like that in the Nexus Discord that we have for all of our
he does all
clients.
of our emojis and stuff for the Discord for all of our Discords.
So I don't forget this in the team meeting this morning with the boys. Josh said, "I really hope they don't give him a video of me mopping," and he makes a meme out of me mopping. I'm not sure if he listens to this, but I think a meme of Josh mopping the gym would go down fantastically, just because he specifically asked it not to happen.
Okay.
We'll make sure we get a video of that.
There was one of him vacuuming the video of Josh vacuuming. That it's the one time that Josh actually cleaned up after himself here in the gym.
Oh fuck, that's hard.
Oh fuck!
It's not really.
See,
his
I'm
job.
just making light-hearted fun, and you're just fucking shooting down at the knees.
Yeah. Just
You
me
wanted
fucking-
to bring up the shirt.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, Zach, that anti-flaccid was a flop.
Jeez,
Oh my
the delay.
God.
It's just flaccid. The idea is flaccid.
Very-
Yeah, it was a flop. I can just say that was the biggest delay in laughter I've ever heard.
There was some support, but they seemed to come from majority of 2 people,
Yeah,
which
there was-
unfortunately does not
I think we
lend
had
itself
three.
well.
We had 3 anti-flaccid
Supporters,
votes, supporters, and one of which Charlotte went out of her way to draw her anti-flaccid.
She saved the design, but it still doesn't cost.
Sorry,
doesn't add up on the
it was a
printing
flop.
side of things.
I believe we set the goal of 20, and no one's up for it. So she's dead in the water.
That's right.
That's upsetting.
I'm sure we'll get more shirt ideas along the way. We'll pitch them forward. This is the official platform for.
Will's actually
shirt pitching
wearing our
ideas for you.
latest shirt.
I am. You can only see the shell on the front, but the back has the big octopus on it. I'm not going to try and turn around, because remember last time I tried that with the sponsors, and it just ended up just horrendous. Just me not understanding where.
Give us a twirl.
Yeah.
No rotation.
Go check out
Will,
if you want this shirt. It's
You'll
only
be
a white
very,
shirt.
very, very rare that you see Will in white. He's a dirty
I look
boy.
good in white though.
You do look good in white, but you are a dirty dog and destroy everything. You get stains
Jesus
on
Christ.
everything.
That's what shirts are for. They protect
Yeah,
you from your
that's what you
skin.
wipe.
Because if you didn't wear a
that's what you
shirt, you
wipe
get
your
stains
hands.
on your skin. So the shirt's there as a layer of protection from.
He says the same thing about his eyebrows and why he won't let
they
me
protect
groom
you from
his
the rain. They
Hey,
stop.
I agree with that. The fluffier the eyebrows, especially if you have a unibrow. If you have one eyebrow, it keeps the rain off your nose.
Exactly. It's just
So that's why
functional.
you can't groom it.
Functional training. What else we got? Lastly, a slightly more serious topic. The level 1 nutrition trial is ending. All the current people who went through that, we thank you. Some good feedback from them to nip in the butt some very small little things. But other than that, it's gone really successful.
Yep.
It's our low tier. If you don't know what it is, first time, it is our low tier nutrition. So it now aligns with our training. So we have level 1, 2, 3 coaching, programming side of things, and then we have level 1, 2, 3 coaching on the nutrition side of things now to match that. So it's our lowest price point.
But unfortunately, with that,
service.
usually means that you need more experience and understanding with nutrition.
Yeah, there's going to be. Yeah.
Pleased to say that we are at least now offering it out to the public.
Yeah, it's for people who kind of know what they're doing with nutrition and don't need somebody to hold their hand every single week, but would love a little bit of accountability, a little bit of support, be able to ask some questions to a nutritionist here and there. That's kind of what the service is about, and it's priced appropriately for that. So if you don't want to pay $50+ a week for a nutritionist to tell you what to eat exactly, you don't need that level of support. That might be a really good option for you.
You don't need the weekly hand holding, but
Yeah.
you still want guidance in that, then that's what that's for. And obviously, as a result of these new services all sort of kicking off, I am in the scouting process for a new nutrition coach as well. So if you are a nutrition coach out there listening and wanting, or you know someone that would potentially suit the role and want to come on board as a Nexus nutrition coach, just send them our contact details or my Instagram account. I will also have in the comments or in the, what are they called below this podcast thing? In the show notes, an application form so people can fill that out right now as well.
There you go. Get on board. Today's actual topic. We'll get to it eventually.
We're 9 minutes in of wombat shit, job applications, memes, and
this is where most people turn off. They're happy.
Like, ew, education.
The question, the problem that has been put forward is my friend is disappointed with their results compared to other people on social media. How do I help them view it in a better way? This is
up the dose.
This is a very
this is from Matt. So can you give us your best American accent and repeat the question, Zach?
Wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't have an American accent.
Yeah.
He's from
Americans
Houston.
have multiple accents from all around it as well.
Houston. Oh, I can't do a Texan.
Down south.
No, you'd fuck it up. It's all right.
Okay, keep talking and give me a second. Let me mute myself and practice.
Yeah, so this is a pretty common thing. Social media obviously comes with it.
Alrighty, I got it. My friend is disappointed with their results compared to others on social media. How do I help them view it in a better way?
God.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I don't know what either. That was fucking hell.
I'm sure Matt
slowly
appreciates
whittling
this.
down our audience as we go. I love it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, social media has both pros and cons. The pros being you can connect with a lot of other lifters. I've made some really good friendships in powerlifting through social media from all around the world, being able to reach different people, being able to reach different clients from a coaching side, being able to reach different lifters and talk to different really high-level lifters from all over the world as well in that way. Powerlifting is pretty small. Like if I look at the group of powerlifters on the Gold Coast, like within driving proximity to me, it's pretty small, and so like the social media really opens that up and allows it to be a little bit more of a bigger community. But it has its cons. It means that we're constantly in front of kind of everybody's highlight reel. As in, like...
The creme de la creme.
Like, I miss a lift, and then I jump on my social media, and there's, like, 5 people that hit PBs. And it's, like, it could be a little bit of a, like, what's wrong with me? Why aren't I doing that? So that's kind of this... Yeah, there's a lot more to social media, but that's kind of the situation we find us in this particular instance, this particular problem. My friend is disappointed with their results compared to other people on social media, which is a tough one. It's an easy trap to fall into. Have you ever kind of done this or have any experience with this, similar to this situation?
I mean, probably more so in Olympic lifting than powerlifting, purely from the perspective of when I first started doing Ollie, I was like, fuck, I'm king shit. I'm going to go snatch 200.
I'm pretty strong.
Then I fall over doing 50 and then watch like some 14-year-old Latvian girl doing like 90.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, all right, well, I'm shit.
Yep.
So most definitely.
Yeah, in those like really skill-based sports where it's all about efficiency more so than just muscle mass and just force production a little bit, it's can be a little bit more obvious for sure. For me, I can feel kind of one of the routes that we need to go down with this is realistic expectations, as in like the whole focus on yourself, not others type route, which we will go into, but. Just to bring up my experience, I remember when I first started powerlifting, and in the first year, I probably put like 30 kilos on my total, like of the 3 lifts, like each block that I ran. And when I'm talking block, I'm talking like a 12-week, 16-week block, something like that, And I remember thinking to myself, like, hang on a sec. If I take my total and then add 30 kilos every 3-4 months, then it'll only take me like 5 years, and I'll be by far the world champion and be able to smash everybody.
You'll be totaling 2,000.
Yeah, just completely linear. So when you think about it like that, when you as you get stronger, as some of those like newbie gains fall out, and things slow down a little bit, which will inevitably happen, and then other people are going through their newbie gains or going through accelerated gains for other reasons or whatever. It can be a little bit like, oh, what the fuck? Why is he doing that? And why am I like not doing that? So, yeah, that's my experience with it. I remember that very clearly, thinking to myself and doing the math, and yeah, clearly it doesn't work like that. So setting realistic expectations. What have you got for us on that?
I think that with running on the topic of newbie gains, the newbie gains can be such a positive when someone first gets into it, because you get this massive increase as soon as you start. You start learning the skill. All these bits and pieces fall into place, and you're just like, I am a god. And then you kind of taper that out, start moving into the more intermediate stage, and as it slows down, that's when the goal setting becomes quite a lot more important, because it can be really hard when you see other people whose newbie gains start at, say, a higher point, and then they get that same explosion to an even higher point that might even be beyond where you could even possibly imagine going.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people that can be quite rough. So yes, the idea of, okay, you have to focus on yourself is very important.
Yeah. And eventually
finding people around,
it'll be the answer down the track. But yeah, like you said, people start at different points. Like that person that you said is experiencing more accelerated gains, with higher numbers or whatever. Usually they've come from another sport. Like they have a history which you don't see. They're like, man, this guy's been only lifting for powerlifting for 1 year and he's like totaling 900. And like, it doesn't work like that. Usually it's the whole like, overnight success type fallacy where this person has been maybe in a different high-level sport. Maybe they were a strongman, a bodybuilder. Anything other sport's going to carry over to some degree for sure. Maybe they were just training in the gym for years and years, just grinding away, running templates online and stuff, then just decided to jump in, throw their hat in the ring after 5 years of grinding in the dark. It's not
the name of your sex tape.
It's not that they are. Yeah, it's not an overnight success. It's that these people who are like having like bullshit high totals and stuff. Often when I tell people my first meet, not to brag or whatever, but my first meet went pretty well and was pretty high numbers and broke like a national deadlift record and stuff like that. And it might have seemed to some people that they're like, oh, this guy just like came out of nowhere. But I'd been bodybuilding extremely strict for like 2-3 years beforehand. I had been training for what was my first comp? 25? Yeah, so
2015.
I've been training for 6-7 years before that as well. Like just generally pushing pretty hard in the gym and just doing random, getting past all like my general strength gains before that. And then when I came into powerlifting, like I had the muscle mass there from bodybuilding and all that other general training. I had like this history of sports and everything before that as well. So like it was just really like you said, the skill factor, learning how to squat, learning how to bench, learning how to deadlift, doing them more frequently over a week, refining those skills, being able to translate that into the platform lifts, made it look like that, but it certainly wasn't that. It was the accumulation of years and years and years of work.
And then you just apply that work to the skill.
Yeah, exactly.
And it explodes so much quicker than some people would expect. And I think people quite underestimate how much just being generally athletic beforehand can carry over. Like, you have someone who is a high-level rugby player, they're going to be pretty fucking strong to start with. And they're just directing what they already have. And it's a hell of a lot easier to learn to direct a skill or learn to direct an attribute that you already have than trying to build it up from scratch.
Yeah, well, this is something that we've talked about heaps with our off-season training and stuff like that, our philosophies behind that. If you just make people generally better lifters and get them more jacked and moving a little bit better, using different variations to achieve that, it's going to carry over and make you a better powerlifter once you go back to squat, bench, deadlift. There are other reasons. So we have, obviously, like the big elephant in the room is drugs. So like, I remember,
nice.
I don't think it's throwing him under the bus at all, but like he's completely put it out there. But like Larry Wills was one where everybody was like, holy shit, this 22 or 23 or whatever he was at the time, year old dude, is like out there just hitting ridiculous numbers and he's like super jacked and massive and all that. And then he made that YouTube video at one point going like, yeah, I've been on heaps of PEDs and stuff since I was 16 in the gym and being guided down that path by multiple people and had these hands and everything like that. And to other 21-year-olds or 23-year-olds, whatever he was out there watching, I probably would have been like, holy shit, this dude's like lean at 125. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
We're obviously not condoning people start taking drugs at the age of 16.
No, I'm just saying
or
how
at
it
the
can
age of
skew
21.
your views on it.
Yes.
It can heavily skew your views if you're looking at that and then going like, oh, why aren't I there? Or why aren't I doing that? Or if somebody else is making much quicker gains than you, that could be another potential reason as to why it exists. It isn't, however, I want to chuck out there, it isn't the reason to go like that why everybody else is doing more than you. Like you said, we want to bring this.
Everyone who totals more than you is automatically on drugs. That's how it works.
You still want to bring it back to you and what you can do better, and that's the path that we'll eventually get to. But it is, a potential reason of how it can skew our view of the timelines of progression.
And you have those outliers for whatever reason. And as a general rule of thumb, comparing yourself to an extreme outlier is only going to end in sadness.
The next kind of point that we wanted to go into is like body weight changes. So again, another reason why like it can be really like you can look at somebody on social media and be like, holy crap, they're making way more gains than me. Like what's the problem here? Again, these are all like kind of just like defining the problem. Like we'll get to what we feel like should be the solution. But the body weight changes can really skew your view on it. Like somebody can go from like 100 kilos to 120 kilos and no shit, their performance, their lifts are going to go up. But it is acute. It won't last forever at all. And in fact, long term, it can slow them down. Like the amount of times that I've seen somebody come into the sport, make really, really, really rapid gains for a couple of years, whether it's to do with body weight, whether it's to do with drugs, whether it's to do with all these things. And then all of a sudden, like just conk out, whether it's an injury, whether it's whatever, another reason. A lot of the times mental gain as well. Like if these people like really thrive off those really fast gains, and then so when it reaches a peak and they hit a plateau for a little bit, they find it really difficult to manage mentally, and end up leaving the sport just as quick as they kind of came into it. I've seen that a lot.
It's hard if someone only knows exponential progress. Like you have those people and they don't really hit any road bumps. And generally when you have such a steep improvement over such a short period of time, the road bump's no longer a road bump. You're driving fucking 400 miles an hour in a Lamborghini through a Coles parking lot. You hit the road bump and you flip over.
I think this is why, like, our job as a coach, it's rare that you would think that, like, slowing somebody's progression down would be a good idea. Like, obviously, most of the time you want them to progress as fast as they can, but I feel like there are some points in powerlifting where putting a bit of a slow burn on somebody and just looking at dragging things out is a really good idea.
And I forgot who I stole this quote from, but sometimes you have to protect someone from their superpower. Someone said that. Definitely wasn't me, but it's very applicable.
I'll just claim it. Like if you don't remember, then it's yours. I think that's the rule.
But yeah, sometimes you have to do
let's
that.
restate that. Restate that, Zach. What's your...
Sometimes you have to protect someone from their own superpower. And look, some people don't have superpowers. Some people, they can just plod along. That's it. But some people, you have to specifically hold them back so they don't bust their nut too soon.
Yeah. And that comes with being pretty disciplined in training. I know the amount of times I've tried to hold somebody back and they're like, oh, by the way, I hit a PB tonight. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. Like, when people... I also see, like, the opposite of that. Like, sometimes you just have to take advantage of those good days. Those good days rock around. You're just feeling great. Things are moving fine. I'm okay with people, but usually I'll let people know as a coach and just say, like, it's okay. If things are feeling great, push it. Or if it's, I think it's more the other way. Like I'll say, let's just play a little bit on the safe side for this week so we can set yourself up for future weeks. Like giving them a bit of a timeline as to things. Like, we're going to max out in 2 weeks, so don't do it today, all right? Like, I think that's going to help a lot of people. But, again, different topic. A lot of people want to ignore local level, small level, novice meets or whatever for whatever reason as well. Like, people don't want to drag it out. They just want to... they see social media, big lifters at national comps, world level comps, invitational comps, all that different stuff, and they want to just be there and they want to be that guy rather than kind of going through the stages. Whereas a lot of those meets, like they're going to be a lot of the fun comps, but they'll teach you a lot and allow you to perform when you're at the big comps where there's a lot more pressure.
Yeah,
And
I think a
lot of people just don't appreciate the skill of competition day, like actual competition day.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're, like, I kind of, like, my timeline worked out really well looking at it because although my second comp was Pro Raw 7, Pro Raw 7 was, it was much smaller than Pro Raw 10, 11 was. So, I mean, it's, like, they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the first one was at, like, the gym, and then the Pro Raw 8 and Pro Raw 9 and stuff were at Arnold's, but they were a bit smaller as Arnold's kind of developed, and then it led up, and pre-COVID ones were massive, so it kind of like lent in that way, and it just worked out really nicely for me. But I think getting some like time on the platform at novice comps, at state comps, at national comps, like building up in that trajectory is only going to make you a better athlete if you can hold yourself back rather than trying to just jump into the deep end, for sure.
Because I think we talked about this last podcast where people overestimate their skill level and people think they're above those lower level meets. Well, not even lower level. They're kind of lower level, but those less, I guess because they're lower level, those smaller meets, even though that's where you really learn to enjoy the sport. Like, you're going to enjoy a local meet way more than like a invitational full of people who are going to absolutely decimate your total.
Man, I would just do the local meets if it wasn't for my own like competitiveness. Like, I like to compete against other people and have them push me. Like, we can talk about mine and Sebastian's rivalry, and if he wasn't there, like, it would have been, and if Ricky and Nathan and some of the other people from the earlier days, but like, if those people weren't there to kind of like compete with and push me, I don't know whether I'll be like where I am. Like I don't know, like
you wouldn't have locked out that last deadlift at Pro Raw.
No, I would have gave up for sure. So like, it's just like it's
if it didn't mean winning, you wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, like the desire to push through. The competition to me is massive.
Well, that as well as it's a good example of a healthy comparison. Like we kind of said before, it can be hard if you're sitting there comparing yourself to people on social media. And I said that comparing yourself to outliers isn't going to be the best. But if you can find a group of people who are, around a comparable skill level, doing similar things, that sort of a comparison, maybe not a rivalry, but that sort of friendly competition amongst people who you care about, and that can be quite beneficial to actually pushing progress. And that's where instances of comparison can be quite useful.
Yeah, well, they're stepping stones. Look at winning your little novice meet, and then look at winning your states, and then look at winning, like step it up, rather than just looking at what people at Worlds are doing and going like, fuck, I suck.
Well, like,
You know what I mean?
Jack actually did a really good Instagram post on this about, like just getting back into the platform, getting onto the platform and not waiting until you hit X strength number as well, because he used this is a direct quote, we're all trapped in strength dysmorphia where we are never strong enough. Like, even Will now is sitting there being like, I'm not strong enough. I want to do this.
Man, I look at like Jamal Brown like the other week, like he's a sumo deadlifter, and then he does like 320 for 7 convention. I was like, God damn it! I thought I had one thing. No, like some people are just like I'm making comparisons to these people. Like I have the same thing going on.
But it's a healthy comparison, though. It's
I know that like when I look at his sessions and he's low, how much he puts in, like it's not because. It's not me looking at it and going like
I'm not good enough.
I'm terrible. It's like, man, this dude puts in the work and like good on him. Like he's ticking all the boxes. He's killing it. Usually hard work equals gains.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't allow that to.
When I look at what he does and his sessions and like how his sessions are all planned, like it's just he's hitting so much work and obviously he's recovering from it, so he's got all that stuff nailed down. Like that's just appreciation of his determination.
Yeah.
Like he's
but I think the difference is as well is that you're not using that comparison to build self-sabotaging habits or routines. You're using that and going, all right, what do I need to be doing differently or better to become a better athlete or put myself on the same platform as him and use him?
Yeah, well, looking at him isn't really going to help me be better. Like, I need to look at me and look at, like, what can I do better? So, like, recently getting back into lifting, first thing was just literally just training, like,
enjoying
consistently.
training.
So I was doing, like, 2 sessions a week here, 3 sessions a week there, whatever, just, like, skip this session, whatever, just because work was hectic. Now I'm, like, I've actually got routine, and then once I got that routine down, then it was like, okay, let's get my nutrition sorted. Started to get that down. Then it was like, okay, let's bring in cardio, and that's what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, is like bringing in some consistent cardio again and just slowly checking the boxes of like all the things that are going to make me better. Yeah? Not focusing on like that target right now, but focusing on like all the things that are going to make that target happen. But yeah, I guess that's really that process-oriented goals, or like having a daily checklist and stuff like that. I think that's the key to like really the end home point for overcoming this to some degree. Is like just start to look inward, start to look at all the things that you can do to better. Because trust me, there are heaps. I've worked with everyone, like, you know, first day in the gym type people. I've worked with elite athletes, and if you think they got their shit sorted out, usually it's not that simple.
Go back and listen to Anthony's podcast with us.
Like they've got problems as well, but they're just different levels of problems. But everyone has things that they can work on. So identify the things that you can work on. If you don't know what you can work on, hire a coach. They'll tell you they should be able to tell you like what you should be focusing on to make you move forward, your low-hanging fruits, and then help you come up with the solution to make that happen, to tick those boxes. Do you have anything to add to that?
I guess for me, the last piece that I put through for the goals and kind of what I'd call, you said daily to-do things, I call them non-negotiables, and just picking one or two of those small things, and eventually they will pile up and they will keep adding up. And on that as well, just kind of taking a step back and asking yourself why are you doing the sport can be a pretty hefty thing that you can do to try and get around that kind of disappointment when you're comparing yourself to some of these massive lifters. Because if your goal isn't to be the best in the world, then probably don't compare yourself to the best in the world, because some of these people are doing exponentially more than you are to warrant the result that they're getting. So be honest with why you're doing it. If you're just doing it to train with your friends, be better, enjoy the sport, the expectations and the pressures are lower, do it for what it is. And if you have a clear understanding of what you're doing it for, it can kind of help pull back that disappointment and just maximize the enjoyment.
And then as you get better over time, it's not to say that those goals can't change. You know what I mean? It's not to say that you couldn't build to being a better athlete and be more competitive on a state or national level down the track. But if that's what's holding you back right now is the high-end comparisons, then, like you said, pull it back.
And I mean, like one thing that we were going to bring up earlier, but we didn't, was the average training age of top lifters. Like if you go and look at these people at the top and how long we kind of touch on it a little bit, but like most people are in powerlifting a really long time before they get to that. So like if you're looking at a certain lifter, like maybe go back and look like how long they've been doing it. Open powerlifting will tell you like all their previous meets, when their first comp was. So look at that timeline and then who they were before that. Some of these guys were high level athletes in different sports, like you said.
Yuri Belkin was competing like 13.
Yeah, they do different over there. That's high school. Like they go out for lunch, like the bell rings at high school, and they go outside and just start slamming squats. But
the government give them the special oatmeal. Just the state-sponsored oatmeal.
Whoa. Yeah, and so but looking at all those different factors into why that person is the best is and then looking at what you can do better is really like what's going to help you overcome it. But
I'm curious.
I think as well, just quickly, was just saying, like, you're always going to have these feelings. Like I said, I still have these feelings when I look at Jamal or I look at someone else and I go, like, man, I'm so shit compared to him, but it's just viewing it in a different light. So, like, don't expect them to go away. Just be better at handling them and viewing it in the right way.
Yeah, Zach, I'd like to get your opinion on this because obviously I had the conversation with Matt when he asked me this question about people looking at those small 1%ers as well. Like we mentioned before, if you don't know where to change or what to be doing differently or better, hire a coach because they can tell you. But like, what would be your feedback because I know you've got a couple of people in your roster that like to overanalyze things and look at those small 1%ers and go, oh, but this athlete's doing this sort of thing with their knee angle or their foot positioning. Should I be doing that? Like, what would be your feedback for people that are like that? Just chronic overanalyzing.
If you can objectively look at what you're doing and identify that you're not doing any... Like, if you're messing up major rocks, completely ignore the 1%. Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The amount of people that have come to me and said, oh, yeah, I need to do this tiny little thing. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I see jump on their Instagram and there's a picture of them at like 3 a.m. in a nightclub just slamming it the day before squats. I'm like, okay, bro, like, yeah, we've got a couple of things to work on.
Or maybe just the
here.
fact that they don't know how to brace properly. And they're like,
oh yeah, there's fundamentals
this is
of
happening
technique
with
as well.
my hip shift and this and that, and maybe I should try this with my big toe and move my knee angle this way. It's like, actually, maybe you just need to fucking brace better.
Yeah, this goes, yeah.
Sometimes people just
definitely
need to get better at doing the thing. Like, don't underestimate the fact that, okay, you can just get better at squatting. And there's periods where you're worse at squatting and periods where you're better and the skill improves. And sometimes consistently changing things makes it harder to get better at the skill. Because it's like you're trying to pick one crawdad in a bucket of crawdads. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't have anywhere to go with that. I just wanted to say crawdads. I didn't have a fucking goddamn direction in the slightest.
The big crawdads are going to fill you up more than the small crawdads are.
You don't eat crawdads.
The big crawdads or eat the small crawdads.
You eat crawdads.
No, the crawdads eat each other. You said the big crawdads eat the little crawdads.
It could be.
How? We don't eat crawdads here. They're the friends of the show.
Cannibals.
I might get a pet.
I feel like I should have put a crawdad on.
I get a pet crawdad.
Get one.
You said crayfish. Just saying.
I didn't.
Maybe we should have put a crawdad.
Starts as a crayfish and then it evolves to a crawdad. We saw that.
It's like Magikarp. Turns into Gyarados.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we should have put that on the back of the shirt, not a octopus.
Yeah.
Or a crawdad fighting an octopus.
Next shirt for sure. It's our aquarium themed line.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's leave it there. We already had enough shit talk at the start, so I feel like I haven't shit talked to the end to sandwich it. It's just a little bit ridiculous.
Sandwich.
But it is. But let's if you have any more feedback, you know what to do.
Speaking of shit, I just
Jesus Christ! All right,
no more shit talk. No more shit talk.
We've just had. I just want to give a special shout out to Pierce, who made our Nexus Unloaded bingo.
Apparently.
No, who just made the Nexus Unloaded bingo card. And in there we have Zach's intestinal distress. So I just wanted to throw that in there as a different theme to see if
common themes upon the podcast. The same shit we talk about.
If we ticked anyone's bingo box.
Well, we definitely did.
Or maybe Pierce can make us another bingo card.
He needs to make it less because I feel like every episode ticks most of those boxes. So
hold on, you don't have a monster.
Yeah, I do.
Alrighty, there we go.
It's below the crotch because of Craig. I don't need Craig's feedback. Actually, it wasn't feedback, it was criticism. I don't appreciate it. But anyway, cool. Let's end it there. Voila.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Thank you for listening to Nexus Unloaded. Be sure to jump on our website to find details on everything mentioned on today's podcast, plus information on our coaching, mentoring, and gym services. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at NexusPerformance.Aus for any updates on what we are currently doing. See you all in the next episode.